Death has stalked humanity since the dawn of time. But what if the richest people on Earth are quietly trying to escape it? Picture this. In sleek, ultra-modern labs tucked away from public view, teams of the world's brightest scientists work tirelessly on a project once thought impossible: defeating aging itself. Their funding? Billions of dollars from tech titans who built empires by disrupting industries and shattering limitations. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Peter Thiel. These aren't just names on Forbes' richest list. They represent a new breed of billionaire with an audacious goal: to extend human life far beyond what nature intended. Some whisper they want to live forever, but can they succeed where humanity has failed for millennia? And if they do, what happens next? Welcome to the Billionaire Longevity Wars, where the ultimate prize isn't market domination or space exploration, but something far more personal. Extra decades, perhaps centuries, of life itself. The human lifespan has nearly doubled in the past century, an achievement our ancestors would have considered miraculous. But for today's tech elites, living to 90 isn't enough. They've set their sights on far more ambitious targets: 120 years, 150, or perhaps indefinitely. Why are these particular billionaires so obsessed with cheating death? Perhaps it's because they share a common trait. They're builders, creators who've transformed humanity's relationship with technology. Men who've tasted godlike power in their respective fields and now face the ultimate humbling force: mortality itself. Take Elon Musk, the maverick behind Tesla and SpaceX. While publicly focused on making humans a multiplanetary species, he's simultaneously developing Neuralink, a brain-computer interface company that could fundamentally change what it means to be human. Although Musk speaks of Neuralink as a tool to prevent AI from outpacing humanity, experts recognize a deeper implication: the possibility of consciousness existing beyond flesh. If you can't beat death, one Silicon Valley insider told me, maybe you can simply upload your mind and skip it altogether. Musk himself has hinted at this, describing a future where our minds could potentially exist outside our bodies. A digital immortality that would make biological death a mere transition rather than an end. The question isn't whether the technology exists yet. It doesn't. But whether Musk's billions and relentless drive might eventually make it possible. Meanwhile, Jeff Bezos, the architect of Amazon's empire, approaches immortality from a different angle. In 2021, reports emerged that Bezos had invested heavily in Altos Labs, a company focused on cellular reprogramming, essentially teaching old cells to act young again. With a startup fund of over $3 billion and salaries rumored to exceed $1 million for top scientists, Altos isn't just another biotech venture. It's a moonshot backed by one of history's greatest business minds. While Bezos rarely discusses his longevity investments publicly, his actions speak volumes. After stepping down as Amazon CEO, he's had more time to focus on personal passions. And sources close to him suggest that extending human lifespan ranks high among them. What good is building the world's largest fortune? A former Amazon executive once remarked, if you don't have time to enjoy it. But perhaps no billionaire has been more forthright about his desire to defeat death than Peter Thiel, PayPal co-founder, early Facebook investor, and notorious contrarian. Thiel has called death the great enemy and openly funded numerous longevity ventures. Through his foundation and personal investments, he's channeled millions into biotech companies exploring everything from gene therapy to experimental compounds that might slow or reverse aging processes. Most controversially, Thiel's name has been linked to research on parabiosis, the transfusion of blood components from young individuals to older ones. Though he's distanced himself from some of the more sensationalized reports, his interest in pushing biological boundaries remains clear. "We wanted flying cars," Thiel famously complained. "Instead, we got 140 characters." His investments suggest he's not content to accept biological limitations either. So how exactly do these billionaires plan to defeat aging? The approaches are as varied as they are experimental. Some focus on the telomeres, protective caps on our chromosomes that shorten as we age. Others explore the role of senescent cells, zombie-like cells that accumulate over time and may accelerate aging. Still, others investigate the potential of CRISPR gene editing to repair or replace problematic DNA sequences. One particularly promising field is cellular reprogramming, essentially resetting cells to a younger state using specific proteins called Yamanaka factors. Early experiments in mice have shown tantalizing results, with some studies demonstrating partial age reversal in certain tissues. Then there's the computational approach, using artificial intelligence to analyze vast data sets and identify potential anti-aging compounds far faster than human researchers could alone. This marriage of biology and computing power might identify patterns invisible to even the most brilliant human minds. But despite billions in funding and some of the world's brightest minds, a comprehensive cure for aging remains elusive. The human body is incredibly complex, a symphony of interacting systems, each with their own aging mechanisms. Targeting just one might be like fixing a single instrument in an orchestra that's playing out of tune. The billionaire longevity quest isn't just scientifically challenging, it's ethically complicated. Imagine a world where the ultra-wealthy live decades longer than everyone else, perhaps even approaching immortality while the rest of humanity continues with natural lifespans. What would that mean for politics, economics, and social stability? The greatest danger, warns Dr. Margaret Holden, bioethicist at Stanford University, isn't that these technologies won't work. It's that they might work only for the privileged few. Consider the implications. Political leaders who never step aside, wealth concentration that continues for centuries rather than ending with death, and resource allocation increasingly skewed toward extending already long lives rather than improving quality of life for the many. Others see a more optimistic future. History shows that technologies often begin expensive and exclusive before becoming widely accessible. From antibiotics to smartphones, innovations typically follow a democratizing path. Could anti-aging treatments follow the same trajectory? What begins in billionaire labs often ends up helping humanity broadly, argues Dr. James Chen, futurist and medical historian. The first heart transplants were incredibly rare and expensive. Now they're routine procedures. The truth likely lies somewhere in between, with initial breakthroughs benefiting the few before gradually becoming more accessible. But with something as fundamental as lifespan extension, even temporary inequality could have profound social consequences. Let's be clear, despite the hype and billions invested, we're not on the verge of immortality. Most serious researchers in the field hope to extend health span, the period of healthy, active life, rather than achieving literal eternal life. Dr. Elizabeth Blackburn, who won a Nobel Prize for her work on telomeres, puts it this way: the goal isn't to live forever, it's to live better, longer, to compress the period of decline and suffering that comes with old age. This more modest goal, extending healthy life by preventing age-related diseases, might actually be within reach. Several compounds, including rapamycin and metformin, show promise in animal studies for extending healthy lifespan. Human trials are ongoing, though results remain preliminary. For all their resources, billionaires face the same fundamental challenge as medieval alchemists seeking the philosopher's stone. Time doesn't stop while they search for a solution. Musk, Bezos, and Thiel continue aging day by day, just like the rest of us. This race against the clock adds urgency to their quest. At 52, Musk is the youngest of the three. Bezos is 61 and Thiel is 57, all reaching ages where mortality becomes increasingly difficult to ignore. Will their billions buy enough time to develop technologies that might extend their lives? Or will they, like countless wealthy seekers before them, ultimately face the same fate as everyone else? While we've focused on three high-profile billionaires, they're not alone in this quest. Google co-founder Larry Page helped launch Calico, a longevity research company, back in 2013. Oracle founder Larry Ellison has donated over $400 million to aging research, and dozens of wealthy individuals quietly fund projects away from public scrutiny. What's different now versus previous eras is the convergence of unprecedented wealth with revolutionary scientific tools. CRISPR gene editing, artificial intelligence, advanced computing power, and sophisticated laboratory techniques give today's longevity seekers advantages their predecessors lacked. The quest has also gone mainstream. Anti-aging skincare alone is a $58 billion industry. Supplement companies market longevity formulas to consumers eager to stay youthful. Life extension has evolved from fringe obsession to commercial juggernaut, with everyone from celebrities to everyday people joining the pursuit. But between expensive creams and actual immortality lies a vast scientific gulf. The billionaire-funded ventures focus on fundamental biological processes, not surface-level treatments. They're not trying to look younger. They want to be younger at the cellular level. So where does this leave us? The observers of this high-stakes race for extended life? First, it's worth remembering that many proven longevity factors don't require billions or cutting-edge labs. Regular exercise, nutritious diet, quality sleep, stress management, and strong social connections consistently correlate with longer, healthier lives. While billionaires fund moonshots, these accessible approaches continue showing results. Second, we should watch these developments with informed skepticism. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, and true breakthroughs will need rigorous scientific validation, not just exciting headlines or investor presentations. Finally, we should participate in the ethical conversation. If significant lifespan extension becomes possible, how should society handle it? Should anti-aging treatments be considered medical necessities or luxury goods? What responsibilities would come with dramatically extended lives? These questions may seem theoretical now, but the billions flowing into longevity research suggest they could become practical concerns within our lifetimes. The billionaire longevity wars represent humanity's oldest dream pursued with unprecedented resources. From ancient quests for the fountain of youth to modern labs manipulating cellular machinery, we've never stopped hoping to extend our brief time on Earth. What makes today's efforts different is the combination of scientific advancement, computational power, and virtually unlimited funding. Will Musk, Bezos, Thiel, and their fellow billionaires succeed where all others have failed? The answer remains uncertain, but their ambitious quest, regardless of outcome, is already accelerating our understanding of aging and potentially unlocking treatments for age-related diseases. Whether you find their pursuit inspiring or disturbing, one thing is clear. The race against death has entered a new phase. And we're all witnesses to this extraordinary moment when humanity's oldest limitation faces its most determined challenger. Not gods or heroes from myth, but billionaires armed with checkbooks, laboratories, and the audacious belief that even mortality itself can be disrupted.